We are already live streaming. I mean, this goes in the room, so I can't have the discussion either. Nee, nog niet. You can discuss.
No, I think psychology. No, but you are an outsider. How did you get that? There's still a seat over here and over here. Yes, so a very warm welcome to everyone. We're very happy that you are joining our side event on the CCPCJ 34th with the title Youth Education and Activism, a new approach to combating crime and domestic violence. So we are very honored and happy to have an amazing project that we will showcase today, and also to have our missions of Albania here present with us. Thank you for your time. And also online, the mission of North Macedonia, Your Excellencies. Thank you for your time and for our work at this mission. Thank you. First of all, I would like to introduce Dr. Maya Riel. She's our Director of Women's Federation for World Peace UN at the Vienna office, and she will offer some welcoming remarks. Maya, the floor is yours.
Thank you, dear John. Greetings to all the participants. Thank you for coming to be with us, and greetings also to the others online. I will quickly talk because we have many speakers today. I start with a personal situation. Yesterday, my husband and we celebrated 47th anniversary of our wedding. Wow! Thank you so much. Together with other couples, they get married on the same. Pending for all of the right and for communication between us. We can learn to embrace each other, we can learn to listen to each other, and in this way we can bring this experience to the society, and this can protect us and give good impact for our neighbors, for our working people, and also for the society. And this brings us also to the topic of our meeting today, youth activism in education and how they fulfill their desire. Peaceful.
the growing influence of online content that promotes crime and infant wealth, luring minors into risky and even criminal behavior. Criminal networks are increasingly targeting vulnerable groups, especially those under the age of legal responsibility to carry out illicit acts. One of the most innovative and timely responses to this has been the promotion of financial literacy as a crime prevention tool. The Center for Youth Crime Prevention in Albania has developed a targeted program that addresses this issue. It teaches young people not only about the legal consequences of crime, but also how to manage money, recognize crimes, and build a path toward economic independence. These lessons are delivered through multimedia content, including short films, podcasts, and social media campaigns tailored to the reality of young people's lives. What stands out is that youth who participated in these programs, including those with prior involvement in the justice system, have not returned to criminal behavior. As one participant said, when I started to earn my own income, I realized that my life is worth more than a one-way. This kind of transformation shows what is possible when we address not just the symptoms, but also the root causes, such as financial literacy, lack of opportunity, and social pressure. In this context, I would also like to mention a useful and handy example of multilateral cooperation. The OSCE project titled Enhancing Youth Crime and Drug Use Prevention Through Education on Legality and Awareness campaigns promotes lawfulness among young people through education, community engagement, and awareness raising across Southeastern Europe and beyond. I'm glad that this initiative is implemented in close cooperation with UNODC, as cross-agency efforts are essential to achieving meaningful and lasting results. In Albania, we are also proud of youth-led activism and community efforts that support early prevention. Schools, civil society, and municipal institutions are working together to promote legal and financial awareness. These initiatives help challenge the glamorization of crime online and provide alternative narratives that emphasize dignity, self-reliance, and social responsibility. Also, gender-sensitive education for girls and boys, economic empowerment initiatives, building confidence, communication skills are also ways to prevent domestic violence and gender-based violence. A multi-stakeholder approach and cooperation between government, parliament, civil society, academia, and media are crucial in addressing these issues. Let us continue to recognize and reward all these efforts. The voices of young people are not only essential in raising awareness, but in shaping better futures for themselves and their communities. Thank you once again for the opportunity to contribute to this dialogue. I look forward to hear your insights and learning from the valuable experience shared today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, and explaining also a little bit what Albania is doing to tackle these issues. Thank you so much. And then we have online, we have Her Excellency Mrs. Adelina Marcu. She's the Charge d'Affaires of the Permanent Mission of the Republic of North Macedonia. Unfortunately, she could not be here at the end, but she prepared a video message for us. So let us watch together.
Yeah, exactly, same thing.
Technicians are working on it.
Oh.
We're getting there. Hopefully echo.
That means I have to conference mute. No.
Yeah, vision now. And that's maybe we can also put it down. Okay.
Disaster.
So maybe we can just continue with speakers. Yes.
Marco, dear Dr. Maria, colleagues and friends, it is a great honor for me to be here today. I want to thank first the organizers, UNODC and Women Federation for World Peace International for organizing this side event, Youth Education and Activism, a new approach in combating crime and domestic violence. Today, I stand before you not only as a university professor and researcher, but also as a clinical psychologist and sexologist who work in the field treating real cases of physical violence and sexual abuse. When I received the invitation actually to speak here in this panel, I felt a deep sense of responsibility. So I reached out to my colleagues, psychologists who have also worked with me for years with domestic violence cases, but also I brought this question to my third year students of psychology because I wanted to take a feedback from them too. What are the most important recommendations that we can give to help in prevention gender-based violence? And the response was clear from everyone: education.
With your permission, I would like to support this point with the following arguments. Actually, when we treat cases in our clinics, we find out that most of the couples bringing that, yeah, we have a lot of discussion and disagreement, but disagreement in our relationship are very normal, actually. What is problematic is how we deal with that. Too often, instead of dialogue, we escalate. We move quickly from a disagreement to insult, to psychological abuse, and in many cases, to physical abuse, violence. The way we handle conflict, the word we use, our tone, our action, all these behaviors are there. If a child, as a children, we witness violence at our home. We didn't just experience it. We learned as a model of how to behave or react in conflict situations. So, if a negative behavior is learned, it means that positive behavior can be learned too. I would like to share with you a study we recently conducted at UBT University in Kosovo with the students from psychology and medical faculties. I teach them courses of human sexuality and psychology of sexual behavior. The purpose of this study was to explore their view on gender, relationships, and violence. They took a test before the 12 lectures, and after that, they took a post lesson. The results was powerful. Students didn't just learn facts, they changed the way of thinking about sexuality, respect, and violence. Let me share with you a few examples. I chose just 4 questions to share with you, not all the tests. The first one, on the statement, it is natural for men to have more sexual freedom than women. Initially, 41% of our students agree that yes, the men can have more freedom than women. But after the lectures, 93% of the students agreed that both partners should have equal sexual rights and autonomy. The other question was, a woman must submit to her husband's sexual demand. In beginning and suddenly, 46% of students agreed, and they believe that yes, should be like that. But after the lectures and through opening discussion and reflect, in the end, 94% of them agree that both partners must give consent in every relationship, no matter how long they have been together or no matter if they are married. Another tribal belief, a woman who is abused usually provoked. Before the course, 39% of the students, and sadly most of them women, associated violence with provocative plotting. After the course, 91% of the students strongly agreed, recognizing that violence is never justified under any circumstance. And if I can stop just shortly here, we was actually we was shocked. Also the women, like most of the girls in class, they say, yes, if you wear some provocative clothing, then you provoked the violence. And then we had to change that, how to change it. It didn't work just with literature. We did role play in the class. We put students with provocative clothing in the middle of other students. And then we asked the ones who answered that, yes, they provoked it, like just to bring out their thoughts and their feelings in that moment. And the results was really powerful. They said, no, actually, I cannot abuse that person. So it's not clothing bringing out this. You should have a criminal mind, like to abuse another human being. And then, it was concrete result. And this is why I brought this study today here and to show real cases that yes, education actually, it helps us to shape our minds and our beliefs. The last question that I brought here, when we asked about contraception, only the half of our students thought that it was women's responsibility. But actually, after the course, almost all of them agree that both partners should take equal responsibility. These are not just statistics that I brought here today. They showed real shifts in how young people think. They prove that when education is inclusive and meaningful, it can challenge harmful gender norms and promote values of equality, dignity, and nonviolence. When young people are given space to learn, they can reflect, discuss, and they grow. And also I brought here some recommendations. These recommendations are not just mine, but to my colleagues and my students too, that education can break the cycle of gender-based violence. We must focus in teaching, emotional regulation, healthy communication, respectful disagreement, empathy, and understanding. And all above, we should learn to our children and young people boundaries and consent. We have also to improve and to offer rehabilitation for offenders. Prison is not enough. We should offer, instead to pay 1 day more in the prison for people, we should pay psychologists to work with them, to work with their trauma, and then to work, if they don't know how to deal with problems, then to teach them how to deal with problems. If we put them longer in prison, then sometimes they will come with more criminal minds from the prison. So we have to work with them and to give enough support, and also help how to manage their anger, how to respect others, and how to change their behavior. We need also a multidisciplinary approach to addressing this serious problem. We need an approach that focuses in education and re-education, not just in punishment. Also, we need help from media. TV shows, news, and social media can do more than reporting just violence. They can teach, raise awareness, and show healthy relationships and positive examples. Domestic violence is not a private issue. It is a public health crisis. It affects our homes, our communities, and our future. And through education, we can learn the language of respect, active listening, and treating our partner with dignity. We must learn to give and receive love in the right way. Thank you.
It's okay. And thank you, Ayona, for this powerful message and the work you're doing with your students. It's really impressive what kind of amazing results you're getting there. Thank you so much. Next, we will go to our next speaker, Marlies Latstetter. Welcome, Marlies. Marlies holds a master's in...
Could we just try the video again one more time?
Yes,
Maybe we've solved it.
Okay, we go back. We go back to the beginning. We're very happy that North Macedonia is also supporting our side events here today. And Her Excellency couldn't be here, Mrs. Marco. She prepared a video message. Let's see if it works. I see that the technical professionals also here. I have full confidence. Yes, very interesting.
This one.
That's me.
Just connected to conclusion.
But they didn't
and the equality.
Students of peace. And yeah, so basically, our organization was founded 2017 in South Korea by our founder, also a woman. She's called Park Moon, and she has really the vision that through young people and education and to bring really a change in this world. And she always invested a lot in youth. So our vision for Europe and Middle East of YSP is that every young person really on this planet experiences that their contribution really matters in peace and also for society. So our mission is that we provide youth and students with fresh visions, practical skills, and exciting opportunities that they can grow their skills and character and really solve pressing issues that they can see in the communities. So we really want to, one core initiative I want to pilot here that we are organizing is the Peace Designer Program, which is like a practical skill that youth can learn in a step-by-step process where they learn to create their own peace project. It's a design thinking process, and in forms of 3 to 4 days, they can learn how to create a project from step to step based on a peace perspective, which is the peace within oneself, others, and the environment. So it's the positive peace approach against the negative peace approach. And one of our chapters, the YSP Balkan, they have really focused a lot together with University of Kosovo and also UPT University in Kosovo. And they established the peace designer training the last already 3 years. We cannot see the presentation yet, unfortunately, but they have gathered over 180 people to teach the peace designer training in a time frame of 1 year. And starting also, especially in 2023, in October, they have taught at the University of Kosovo the peace designer training. And one of the projects I want to talk today is about empowering women's role in police making. So they promoted this peace project because they thought they could see that there's so little women in police institutions in North Macedonia. So their project was that they want to raise awareness in universities, but also in police institutions, and also to have more women to promote it in the universities, but also in police institutions themselves, that they bring more gender equality. So one of the initiatives by the youth, Lily, can you continue with the presentation? Sorry, I just want to show the presentation of the students, what they came up with. You can continue. Yes, more. One more. Exactly. Here you can see pictures of the peace designer training. And if you continue one more. That's basically the project they introduced in the end of the Peace Designer Program, which is bringing really awareness campaigns and education effort with youth in Kosovo. If you continue one more, you can see the project that the students did there. So they brought basically advocacy and they talked to students in the campuses. And if you continue one more, they went out to ask different students also what they think about their role and if they would be interested actually to be also engaged in police institutions. And you can continue, please. Yes, so they talked also in the among universities, among the students, and one more. Yeah, so they went out to talk with different students, and we can continue until the picture. Yes. So they gave lectures also to different student groups in the university, and in the end, when we come to the picture, they also had a meeting together with the police department. And basically, what they really want to learn how the internal working of the police and law enforcement work. And they understood how gender dynamics work there and again it also in dialogue and how to address inequality. So this change to promote the gender equality with the sector. Also institutional meetings happen together with the university, rectors, high schools, and also to bring more career opportunities in the criminology and security science to promote gender sensitivity, inspire young girls or to also follow this field in the future. Even after the completion of this project, the University of Tetovo, together with YSP Balkan, actively encouraged to promote the core message of promoting this gender equality in police institutions. Also, at the end, there was the synergy event where they could present their project to the educational department and the Ministry of Education, and the police institutions was represented. Also, many other youth from the university. In total, 180 participants joined from Albania, Kosovo, North Macedonia, also Europe and Asia. One of this really initiative, it's not only after the project, it didn't just end it, but what was really amazing was that the University of Tetovo, they included in the curriculum and also in the youth forum and also spread this message continuously. I think it's really inspiring to see that just a young group of students can really bring a change. And I think this is like an example, what like just a small, like if they can feel the sense that they can feel they make a change in even in the small area or in the community. And that's why we believe also with the designer is really a core educational program that it can really prevent crime and domestic violence, because young people really feel a sense that they are heard and they can really create a change. Good. Thank you so much. And I hope that we can continue also working this and spread this initiative together. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Marlies, for showcasing this amazing project. This example of youth activism, the Balkan by YSP, with a quite impressive impact. Thank you. And well, we're hearing something online about the video. Does that mean that the video is ready?
We're working on it, yeah.
We're working on it. Great, they're still working on it? Wow. Yeah, keeps us awake. Welcome, Mr. Malou. Thank you for being here. So then we'll continue in the room. And this is our last speaker that is here with us today. So we hope that after that we can show the videos online. So it's our privilege to welcome Mrs. Dorina Preti. She is a lawyer from Albania, and she will talk on the topic from legislation to implementation, how laws and political action can prevent domestic and youth violence. Thank you very much for being here in person, and the floor is yours.
So I hope, thank you everyone for coming. I'm coming from Tirana last night with my friend and my baby girl. So you said the United Nations quote is don't leave anyone behind. I took her with me, but I left behind 3 other children. So next time we need to make place for everyone.
Yes, yes.
I'm coming from in Albania. Recently, we faced parliamentary elections, and I was an MP candidate. I couldn't get enough votes to represent Albanian people, but our party got. So we are a new party joining into parliaments, and therefore I'm saying this story because what I'd like to speak today is a very simple thing. Looks like it's a very simple thing, the law. But the law is creating the culture, and sometimes is even creating crime, or sometimes is creating competition, good competition, sometimes is killing the competition. And in this way, it's all either providing good representation in the parliament or bad representations. Before starting, we spoke with Her Excellency, Mrs. Valentina Germani. She has been a very good and honorable voice in Albania civil society and in parliament too, together with my professor, Ms. Vasilika Husi. She's a UN commission in Geneva, and I respect them both very much. We spoke that how a very simple word in the law can create good ways and bring resolutions. So I believe that in order for us to combat or to prevent the violence, we need to have good governance. We need to have good model. If I can go to the next slide, please. In this way, both of them, good governance or good models, can bring smooth solutions. If we don't offer good governance, it means we need to change something in the laws, because bad governance is giving to our society or to our young people bad models. And you cannot provide solutions if you're promoting bad models. So, in my opinion, this goes together, giving good models and offering solutions. So, therefore, next, I decided to speak about our next election code, which is not only an election code that organizes or regulates the rules of being elected, but it is a very important tool for representation. In Albania, we are competing for parliament. We are a parliamentarian republic, and we are competing in open list or closed list. So each party is closing the list of candidates and is selecting itself the list of candidates, which means this set of candidates cannot be chosen by the people. The open list is chosen by the people directly by getting the vote, but then these people do not go to parliament. It's the closed list going to parliament, then is the open list going to parliament. So this new party that we started, it's not socialist, not Democrat, neither of them. It's a new generation that is trying to bring this good culture of building our own country without being without attacking anything, but creating good laws, good governance, good examples, and bringing smooth solutions. So it's contained of successful professional people, and this is what we propose mostly. Open list. Why I'd like to focus a little bit. I don't know what's the election code in your own countries. We all maybe share different problems in the way we compete, but I believe if there is no good law to bring people together in good competition, if the law is not bringing meritocracy, then we might not have democracy. Because if we don't vote the one that we like, if we don't bring to parliament the one that we like, then we are not having democracy, because we're not having representation. And if the vote doesn't have value, then still we don't have democracy. And it's very interesting what happened this time, because this issue of open list seemed to be only our issue. As a new party, we wanted open list because we wanted to represent in parliament, and we wanted a place for ourselves. But it happened during the counting of votes that even big parties, it became an issue also for them, because many people got voted, but they didn't join to parliament. because the first who joined is the closed list, which is not elected. So in my opinion, if we don't have a society where we compete with each other truly, and if we don't give merits to one another, then this is bringing frustration. Because why we have this issue is because we also have young people statistics leaving Albania, or maybe even other countries where meritocracy is lacking. If there is no meritocracy, then young people are leaving the country, but they are not happily leaving the country. They are leaving the country frustrated, because everyone can be the best of its own, most probably in his or her own country. So therefore, in my opinion, it's very important representation and making good laws. If we can go to the next slide, next again. So yeah, next, lack of genuine open list. So we have used to be like we have here open list, but if these are not realistic and totally 100% functionable, then this is not an open list, it's closed. Next. And I have here some mandates. I don't go to details because I'm sure you're not interested in this. Then regional proportional, we were proposing like to have a bigger representation of the vote. Thank you. Next. And if we exclude young people from decision making, then absolutely, we are in a way building another way for violence. And as Mrs. Iona Itzka mentioned too, like if we want to bring more money to the psychologists managing the crime and not in prison, also for that we need a law. But to propose that law, we need good voices in the parliament. We need good representations. So when you don't like the government, you change it with a vote. But when you don't like the citizens, what do you do? So you cannot change. No one can change its citizens. So it's very important for us to build good models in this way, because this is the only way that changes the culture and the citizens. But in order for it to change, it doesn't happen in one moment, in 1 year. It takes decades. So I see that in Albania we come from communism, so it's very important that we take good steps in order that Albanian citizens, they change and they join to EU as European citizens to freely vote and to freely get represented. So thank you very much for giving me the floor. It was a very big pleasure to join this today.
Thank you very much, Dorina, for being here and also for stressing the importance of political action and good law government. Thank you so much. So I understand that the videos should be ready now and working. I expect that we will go a little over time, but let's welcome Her Excellency, Mrs. Adelina Marcu from North Macedonia. Please close the lights. Let's play it. When you speak, she speaks.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you for speaking of that.
Distinguished Dr. Reichel, esteemed ambassador, ladies and gentlemen, dear Madam Amesbauer, it is an honor to speak at this imperative and important event on youth education and activism in combating crime and domestic violence. I want to acknowledge and thank Dr. Maria Reichel and Madame Amesbauer for their inspiring dedication. Your work is critically important and you do have our support. Today I share with you a personal milestone. For the first time in a panel, I am with my daughter, Andra. Andra and the NGO Pleiades are working in the fields of countering violent extremism and combating terrorism. And you have them both in the panel of today. There is a reason why I mentioned this momentum, as it highlights the importance of parenting models and intergenerational dialogue, resulting in shared responsibility in creating a safer society. We have to prepare our children for the challenges of this very dynamic 21st century. The world is changing rapidly, technologically, socially, politically, environmentally, and our youth face complex issues like rising crime and domestic violence, often rooted in ignorance and inequality. I would like to quote Mahatma Gandhi saying the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. And this is why education and activism are powerful tools to help young people find purpose, voice, and agency. Youth education and activism promotes awareness, empathy, resilience, and challenge stereotypes. They build a culture of respect and proactive engagement. These are key ingredients in fighting crime and domestic violence. I deeply respect the OSCE's efforts in this area, especially during North Macedonia's chairpersonship in 2023, which saw the historic appointment of OSCE Special Representative on Youth and Special Representative on Civil Society, demonstrating like this a commitment to inclusivity and active youth participation and engagement. I also want to highlight the importance of breaking the cycle of intergenerational violence. Harmful patterns often pass from one generation to the next, starting within families. Open communication and healthy relationships are crucial to breaking this cycle and building safer communities. From a national perspective, the Ministry of Social Policy, Demographics and Youth in North Macedonia plays a vital role in my country, supporting future generation, focusing on employment, social security, gender equality, child protection, and support for vulnerable groups. Finally, I want to share 6 key OSCE recommendations to the topic. Strengthen legal frameworks to protect victims and hold perpetrators accountable. 2, provide victim support services. 3, promote awareness and education. 4, encourage early intervention. 5, support family communication and conflict resolution programs in schools. And 6, foster cooperation among law enforcement, social services, healthcare, judiciary, and create a unified response. In closing, combating crime and domestic violence is not just a legal challenge. It is our moral imperative. Our children's future depends on the actions we take today. Let me thank you and wish you a very dynamic discussions today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. And like Mrs. Marcoux emphasized, intergenerational dialogue is very important for future generations and for good governance. So we'll go to another online video or speaker of today. Like she said, she is here today with her daughter Andra, Ibrahimi, and Nushka Nika, and they are working at the NGO Pleiades in the West Balkan. And their topic will be on building resilience among youth against violence extremism. So if we could play that video. I also want to acknowledge that they are online, so if there will be any questions, which we don't have any time anymore, we can forward them to them later.
Yeah.
So welcome to all the speakers online as well. Take those the light.
Need to copy the video, it'll be a couple of seconds.
A couple of seconds, okay.
Is the sound already taken?
No,
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
They're doing amazing work.
As a Pleiades representative, it is my responsibility to present the journey in advancing peace, security, and stability in Western Balkans. Pleiades is a woman-led organization dedicated to empowering vulnerable families, fostering peace, and strengthening community resilience in North Macedonia. Rooted in a holistic, gender-sensitive approach, we work at the intersection of psychosocial support, education, peace building, and prevention of violent extremism. As a civil society actor, we break barriers where others hesitate, engaging women, youth, and frontline workers not only as beneficiaries, but as leaders, mentors, and peace builders. To work as a woman-led organization in peace and security means that we have to operate in sensitive and politically complex environment, addressing deeply rooted gender norms and stigma, building trust where institutions have failed, creating inclusive, safe space for families affected by trauma, violence, and displacement. The core values of our organization are deep community engagement. So we work within neighborhoods where radicalization and exclusion risk intersect between each other. We center women's lived experience and prioritize child-focused reintegration strategies. We work to cross-sector collaboration and regional solidarity. That means that through partnerships across Albania, Kosovo, and Bosnia and Herzegovina, we contribute to unify regional framework for reintegration, resocialization, rehabilitation processes, and preventing violent and countering violent extremism.
As a project coordinator at Pleiades organization, I'm proud to lead initiatives that empower young people to stand strong against violent extremism. Through our youth-focused programs, we create safe spaces for dialogue, critical thinking, and community engagement. From workshops and creative campaigns to peer-led activities, we believe in the power of youth to be changemakers. Together, we're building resilience, promoting peace, and shaping a future where every youth voice matters.
Pleiades organization gave me an opportunity to participate in Mother School program that has truly been a transformative experience for me. Before the program, I believed there was little I could do to change the narrative that me and my family are the minority community with a low tolerance on different perspectives. However, this program opened my eyes to the active role I can play in peace building in my community. Through Mother School, developed by Women Without Borders, I learned not only about the rising threats of extremism, but also gained valuable tools to combat them. The program focuses on empowering mothers like myself. I discovered my strengths and weaknesses as a mother, which shifted my perspective on my role within my family. I now feel confident in nurturing an environment of understanding and resilience in my home. This journey has taught me that we can be agents of change, fostering peace and connection in our communities, one family at a time.
As a youth participant with the Pleiades organization, I have seen firsthand how meaningful change begins with community and connection. Pleiades has given me the platform to speak up, to be heard, and most importantly, to act. Through different workshops, dialogues, and grassroots initiatives, I have been empowered to challenge the narratives that lead to violence and division. The organization is helping shift the mindset of a generation away from fear and hopelessness, and like so, it's building resilience, restoring hope, and proving that when youth leads, transformation follows.
Before I was involved in Pleiades organization and Smart Balkans, I thought I don't have a place where to talk about themes that we didn't talk in usual times. I know it's very hard, when I come from Tetovo, it's very hard to talk about themes like extremism, violence, identity, or personal experience that shapes us. But with the Pleiades organization was something different. I felt like I have a place where I can evolve my critical thinking and I can think more for other people than other of myself. Pleiades is something that makes me feel like I'm working on something that's bigger for all of us as a youth.
That's inspirational. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dranushka and Andra, for your great efforts in North Macedonia and the Balkans. And thank you so much, Your Excellency, for supporting us. So we also really want to recognize the support of the UNODC at our side events. And this time we're showcasing a colleague in Iraq in the Strive Juvenile project, Yomna Abu Hussein. She's also online. Thank you so much and welcome. I believe that she wants to try to speak online first. So let's see if that will work.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
You do?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Close.
It's a pleasure to be virtually with you today and to talk about the prevention of recruitment and exploitation of children and young people by terrorist and violent extremist groups. If you give me a second, I will share my screen. I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I am based in Iraq, working on the Strive Juvenile project on the prevention of recruitment and exploitation of children by terrorist and violent extremist groups. Thousands of children around the world and young people are affected by recruitment and exploitation by terrorist and violent extremist groups. They are often victims of extreme violence during their association, and because of their young age and their psychological malleability, they may become particularly dangerous instruments of the recruiters, as they may be used for committing criminal offenses. And regardless of the variations of this phenomenon, the recruitment and exploitation of children by these groups is a serious form of violence against children. And while the nature and gravity of this violence may vary from case to case, the short and long-term implications for both children and society as a whole are severe. In 2021, UNODC launched the Strive Juvenile project, funded by the EU and implemented in Indonesia, Iraq, and Nigeria. The project aims to achieve improved government strategies, policies, and mechanisms related to child recruitment and exploitation, as well as achieve an increased resilience of vulnerable children against terrorist groups' agendas through the enhancement of the capacity of these children and their environment to resist recruitment attempts. In Iraq, between 2015 and 2019, the UN verified over 2,000 grave violations against children, the majority of which were committed by Daesh, aka ISIS. A research was conducted by UNODC under the Strive Juvenile project, revealing various pathways to the involvement of children and youth with Daesh. Instability within the family structure was one of the revealed factors of this research. And while the poor and the young were particularly at risk, Daesh still recruited at every class level. And for others, especially those who had heard of Daesh activity before the group was named or had emerged from Al-Qaeda, the group had an immediate appeal and connected to broader political grievances. Some saw Daesh as the saviors. They saw the association to this group as a way out of a life of difficulty. Also, it's important to acknowledge the difficult circumstances and unsafe surroundings of these young people prior to Daesh's appearances as well. While others have lost parents or their fathers were imprisoned in the year leading up to Daesh's appearance, so they saw Daesh as the group that would save them from the oppression. Before Daesh's arrival, some boys were even drawn to the group's message and later engaged with it through propaganda or direct contact, and with those more receptive often initiating contact or joining quickly. Other boys were gradually coaxed into joining through institutional control, such as when Daesh replaced school curricula or restricted activities like football. Some recruitment occurred from within boys' existing friendship and family networks, boys and men who planned to join the group themselves or had already done so. The process was systematic and consistent, involving promises of easy financial gain, power, and authority, among others, by people whom these boys liked and trusted. The security context also impacted parents' ability to protect their sons. Many were unable to prevent or reverse their recruitment because it would be dangerous for the rest of the family. This wider pattern is a typical recruitment tactic, involving separating and isolating children from their existing support structures. And it's complicated by the fact that Daesh also used existing social and support networks to bring people into the group. Many boys, regardless of their socioeconomic backgrounds, were motivated by financial incentives and a desire for power, with some also citing political or religious reasons. No respondent to the research joined Daesh for only one single reason. Factors varied, including economic gain, power, religion, a desire for what they saw as a more moral life, justice and change, fear, protection for their families, or in some cases, revenge. And some recognized that they had joined without sufficient knowledge of the consequences or losses that they would incur. And given their young age and different pressures that contributed to bringing them into this environment, it's difficult to say that their decisions were entirely voluntary or that they were made freely. Now, given that many of the risk factors revealed through this research related to recruitment stem from within the family environment, the Strong Families Intervention was introduced in Iraq under the Strive Juvenile Project to strengthen the family unit as a first line of prevention, equipping caregivers with the tools to build trust, resilience, and healthy communication with their children. Strong Families is a UNODC evidence-informed selective family skills intervention for families living in challenging settings. It offers a combination of parenting knowledge, skills building, competency enhancement, and support. And it's been designed to reduce presenting problems and prevent future difficulties through training and education. UNODC emphasizes on the importance of strengthening families and communities as a means of resilience building. And by empowering caregivers and children youth with the skills to address trauma, manage stress, and improve communication, the Strong Families intervention plays a crucial role in increasing the resilience of vulnerable youth in Iraq against recruitment. Its family-centered approach is particularly relevant in Iraq, where strong family bonds are essential to community stability and long-term peace. The program consists of caregiver sessions, child sessions, and family sessions. Caregiver sessions help parents manage stress and build positive parenting skills. Child sessions improve mental health, stress management, and reduce difficult behavior, while family sessions bring everyone together to strengthen communication and reduce coercive parenting. This program addresses the root causes of vulnerability by reducing risk factors like coercive parenting and family stress, while strengthening protective factors such as positive relationships, nonviolent discipline, and caregiver support. The program leads to immediate positive changes, including stronger parenting skills, reduced aggression, better child behavior, and improved mental health and stress management for both the children and their caregivers. On the long term, the program contributes to reduced violence, substance abuse, and risky behavior, while promoting lasting improvements in mental health for both caregivers and children. So by placing families at the heart of prevention, the Strong Families program directly contributes to the Strive Juveniles Project's overarching goal of preventing the recruitment of children and young people by terrorist and violent extremist groups, and it lays the foundation for sustainable peace and resilience within the Iraqi communities. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm online if there are any questions.
Thank you so much, Yumna, for being with us here and for your amazing presentation and work out there in the field. And thank you again for the support of the UNODC for our side event. Thank you so much. So we're going quite over time. So we understand if you have other obligations, but we also appreciate if you can stay with us because we have one more presentation from our colleague in the US. A. Patrick Erlandson, he's a founder and director of FatherCon, and he also prepared a video about his work, raising awareness about the role of fathers as contributors to a healthy development of children. Let's listen to Patrick. Beautiful smile.
Thank you, Excellencies, delegates, participants, and especially to the Women's Federation for World Peace for inviting me back. I'm always grateful to participate in the activities of WFWP, as their efforts to support women's empowerment and engagement in creating a peaceful world are made in recognition of the unique and equally important roles of men and women, mothers and fathers, in the creation of peace. Peace begins with me and in my family. FatherCon resulted after 8 years' work on prevention of human trafficking to increase understanding and vigilance to keep children safe from this crime against humanity. Human trafficking has had some legal and law enforcement setbacks over the past few years, but still adapts and is growing. Fathers are too often the source of those vulnerabilities that traffickers exploit. One trafficker arrested in the United States said much grooming was unnecessary because children were leaving their homes willing to be exploited. If there's no father or an abusive father in the lives of children, the balance and security a child needs to see through the veneer of deception used by exploiters is too thin to provide them necessary armor. Jack Reynolds, convicted of abusing over 300 children and sentenced to 13 years in prison, answered a question about what children he targeted, saying, "I didn't target specific children, but if there was a father in their lives, I left them alone. If it was a single mom, I became her hero." At FatherCon, we operate from the foundational belief that the optimum conditions for children's greatest well-being is the two-parent model, with support from grandparents and other relatives, and with a wider circle of support from a community, teachers, neighbors, and friends. If, as the data shows, there is psychological, biological, chemical, and spiritual significance to the mother and father structure, then that's what we should be educating and providing support for with our resources. This model has been disrupted by many factors today, not the least of which is the technology that promises to keep us connected, but has done just the opposite. Instead, we fall for the temptation of unlimited choice, of the more, the bigger, and the more pleasurable. This environment of entitlement to more has been the drumbeat of advertising and pledges of politicians, but nowhere more than pornography. Entitlement leads to a sense of victimhood, which leads to blame, and finally, justification to violate moral, legal, and social norms. What we need to make normal again in our societies and education is integrity, being able to trust oneself and be trusted by others. This is especially true for boys in their teen years, to prepare for relationships and fatherhood. When a father leads in this way, boys thrive. Girls also need to know their father is there for them and has demonstrated what love looks like and being valued feels like. At FatherCon, we provide reliable information about fatherhood that is desperately needed, but a well-kept secret for men. To inspire appreciation for the unique contributions dads make to healthy child development and access resources available that they may not know about and thus not taking advantage of. I once asked a survivor of sex trafficking what would have prevented her from being enticed by her trafficker to follow him into the hell she experienced, and she instantly replied, "I wanted to see my dad love my mom." Astoundingly simple. And yet, when children are raised in an environment of parents who love and respect each other, the world makes sense, and there is hope that love can last. The alternative is a lack of security and misinterpretation of life experiences that leave children feeling at fault, to blame, and unlovable. In the over 80-year-long study at Harvard on adult development and human happiness, the conclusion reached is that our greatest happiness as human beings is found in long-lasting relationships with family and friends, not acquisitions and regardless of wealth, social status, education, or race. In conclusion, to see a reduction of all of the negative consequences of father drought, including violence, poverty, and incarceration rates, we need to commit to what evidence has found to be the optimum conditions for child thriving, the two-parent family. We must navigate the obstacles to that model, not experiment with progressive alternatives intending to create new norms. We need to better prepare future fathers and future mothers. The parenting is a collaboration, not a competition. Provide children who have been raised in less than ideal homes to heal from their trauma and abandonment. Lawmakers, draft legislation that supports the safety and well-being of children by supporting family structure, including paternal leave so dads can spend more time with their very young children. Parents, prioritize the health of your children, even when uncomfortable or a sacrifice, because our greatest joy is going to be found in those lifelong relationships. Fathers, love your wives. Wives, love your husbands. Future generations are dependent on us today. Thank you very much.
And thank you very much, Patrick, for your contribution. And yes, this brings us to the end of our side event of the Women's Federation for World Peace. We want to apologize again for the somewhat chaotic course of the event with the technique, but we're very grateful for your participation and your contribution. And I think it would not make sense to leave any time for questions and answers. If you have any questions to one of our speakers, feel free to approach them after the event. And also, if you would have any questions for the speakers online, you can approach us and we can connect you with the speakers. So we want to acknowledge again missions of the Republic of Albania and North Macedonia. Thank you for your support. And also again, the UNODC, Mr. Malouf, thank you for being here with us in person. And thank you for being up with us. Thank you so much, and wish you a good continuation. Thank you.